guys, and I know you guys mentioned before, like, hey, you guys don't want to talk to me anymore. So, I mean, like I said before, like, listen, if you guys don't want nothing to do with each other, just ignore each other and don't talk to each other anymore. I mean, listen, if you guys really don't want to talk to each other, like, talk to each other anymore, then you have the right to be like, hey, we don't want to talk to you anymore. You said this, which was a little too far, and I will admit, that was not appropriate at all. Because listen, I don't wish that upon anybody, and I know I'm not going to mention it. But listen, just know I don't wish death upon anybody. Like, listen, that's not appropriate. Listen, Epic's 25. Yeah, he's like 25, and sure, he does make, decisions on his own. And however, I do agree with the fact that what he said to you guys, it was a little too far. And yes, I did make a decision to leave Brian's server because a part of me was like, well, this is going a little too far, and I don't want, and of course I didn't want anybody to feel like, hey, it's because of, Epic, or it's because of racing. I didn't really mention any of that because normally I don't want to make anybody feel bad. I'm not that kind of guy. Making people feel bad, that's just terrible, and I don't agree with that.
Right.
But I will admit there was miscommunications on both sides. But here's hoping as time goes on, like going forward, we can squash this whole thing.
Right. For
yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
So, welcome, Overrays. It's Overrays here. We got Walker Dead with us, and we got Deadwalker with us. So, this one's not really. We ain't bashing here. This is me, Mr. Rays, and Deadwalker, and Walker Dead. Given the other side of the story and then the true side of the story and how this situation kind of played out here, and that it wasn't Walker Dead had really nothing to do with it, besides the minor little incident with the Discord server part, I should say, and that was really it, just that minor spot, which wasn't significant, which wasn't crazy, but everything else was not him. So that includes the going at us constantly, all that. And really, it's just here to inform you, Ray's Army, in the community, that he's a clean slate. He's a clean slate, and I want to make that formal to know that that he is not as bad as we're making it seem. For sure.
Yeah. Like I said before, like, listen, guys. Like I said before, like, hey, I'm not that guy. Like I just said a few minutes ago, like, hey, Epic's 25, and I understand he has, like, some problems, like, mentally. But then again, that's life, and guess what? Everybody has their own problems, and again, Epic is an okay guy. It's just, like I have mentioned before, like, hey, sometimes you gotta, be careful what you say, otherwise it could offend other people, and it can make them feel bad. It could bring them down, and I'm like, well, I don't really agree with that, because I don't believe anybody should be bring down over one word,
Right. Yeah, definitely. You can go ahead and tell your side of the situation here about what he kind of did and stuff like that, like you did in your video. You kind of share it here.
Yeah. So 3.5 days ago, I did make a video on my channel, saying like, hey, this whole drama thing, it needs to end, and I did mention in that video that in one of the recent streams, Epic did say something to you guys which involved death, and I'm not gonna lie, I did check out that stream where you guys were talking about that, and to be fair, I was a little surprised. I didn't think Epic would say that. I mean, sure, like I said in the video I did on my channel, like, hey, was I somewhat disappointed in Epic? Yeah, because sure you were. I'm like, sure you didn't mean it. Sure you were upset. However, sometimes you like listen. If you dislike these people, just keep it to yourself. Like, and yeah, just keep it to yourself because sometimes what you say could offend some people. And again, I'm not taking sides. I'm not trying to be rude. And again, I'm not trying to be rude towards Epic, towards Deadwalker. I'm not trying to be rude towards anybody. I'm just stating the fact, like, hey, if you dislike these people for whatever reason, don't just say stuff like that because that could really offend somebody, you know? And it could be hurtful towards people, and sometimes in life you just gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, and because if you're not careful, people could be in situations like this where oh, this person said this and I don't think it was appropriate, like stuff like that, minor stuff like that.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, in the video I did mention, like, hey, if anybody's hyped for these spin-offs, all power to you. Like, hey, like, you know, talk to me. Like, you know, like, let's have a conversation. Like, let's talk about, like, hey, why are you hyped for this show or this show? Like, you know, like, let's have a conversation. Sure, was I a little disappointed in the fact that we're not getting the movies? Yeah, but as time went on, I'm like, okay, since other people are excited for it, why not at least give it a shot? I mean, it'll be because it will just be unfair to just judge a show to, like, you know, you guys know what I mean, to just judge a show without checking it out first, you know?
Right.
Sure, some people might be a little disappointed, but sometimes you just got to give a show a chance, you know? That's what I'm willing to do with the Brick spinoff and with Tales and with Isle of the Dead. That's what I'm willing to do. Like, you know, give it a shot.
Sure.
That's one part. The other part I already mentioned. In regards to deleting my servers, I will admit I was lying to myself. I was lying to myself by thinking it was Ray's and Deadwalker that was the issue, and I realized that really wasn't the case at all. I do realize that I was just using that as an excuse. Like, listen, that's not the reason as to why I deleted my servers in the first place. Like, the reason I deleted my servers was because I didn't want them. I didn't want them anymore. I felt like there was barely any conversations. And when there were conversations, we sure Rays and Epic and Deadwalker were going at it with each other. And I'm like, I even said this like hundreds of times. And I do remember saying this, like, hey guys, just ignore each other. Like, hey, if you guys want to talk to each other, that's your decisions. I respect that. Or if you guys just want to talk about something other than Walking Dead in general, you guys also have the option to, like, you know, DM message each other, you know? Like, okay, instead of talking about Walking Dead, for example, oh, let's talk about Titanic or Jurassic Park or Marvel or anything and have a nice conversation about it. Because, again, they have the option to do so. Right. And I do apologize. I know apologies don't mean anything. I do apologize if I said anything wrong, and I do apologize if I offended anybody. That wasn't my intention. That wasn't my intention at all. And yeah, listen, that wasn't my intention at all. I apologize if I did make anyone feel uncomfortable. That wasn't my intention at all. But yeah, the reason I deleted my servers was because I just didn't want them. Like, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this drama between these three people. I'm like, listen, if they're not going to get along, or if they're barely going to talk about anything, then what's the point of these servers?
Right.
What's the point?
For sure.
If we can't have a simple, normal conversation giving our negatives and positives in regards to the Walking Dead TV show or about any show in general, then what's the point of having these servers on Discord, you know?
Exactly.
In my opinion, the app of Discord shouldn't be about people going at each other. No,
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like
it's
an app we should, you know, come together and talk about anything.
Right, exactly.
It shouldn't be about, you know, it shouldn't be like this thing where people are arguing with each other over whatever reason.
Right.
You know, like I feel like we should come together and we should talk about whatever we want. I feel like we should also give our negatives and positives on whatever movie or show we want, regardless if it's The Walking Dead or not.
Right.
And like I mentioned before in the video I did like 3 days ago, like, hey, if I even mentioned it. I even mentioned this. Like, hey, if like, listen, I'm not. Look, listen, if what's the word I'm looking for? If listen, if there's like any issues with anybody, just ignore them or something like that. And because, well, to be fair, this whole drama thing, it's, in my opinion, it's unnecessary. It all could have been avoided, if you ask me. And I'm pretty sure Raisin Deadwalker would say the same thing, and they'll probably agree. When, you know, could have been, you know, avoided. But I do agree with the fact that, hey, what was said, it wasn't appropriate. I mean, I will admit Brian was somewhat the same way. Like, really, you guys are, well, not you guys, but it was something along the lines of, really, he's wishing you guys to die. And I'm like, and I agreed with Brian because I'm like, yeah, because to be fair, that's not really cool, in my opinion. Not to bring it up again, but it's not really cool. And again, it's something I don't wish upon anybody. And
exactly.
And I can only imagine what Super Batman felt, and I can only imagine what you guys felt, because that wasn't appropriate. I'm like, listen, regardless if it was a joke or not, regardless if he didn't mean it or not, it's still something you shouldn't say anyway, because again, it just affects, like, you know, it rubs someone the wrong way.
Right.
And when I hear that,
the way,
I'm like,
the way he said it, it surely did not sound like a joke, you know. And he, like I said, didn't apologize to us in DMs. To me, didn't do it to Super Batman. I don't think he did to Deadwalker. In any way, shape, or form. Just did not. He didn't do it in the server. You know, he just didn't do it. I mean, he just left it the way it was. And that was it. So, initially, for me, I take it as he was being serious and not joking. Otherwise, he would have put JK at the end, you know, or he would have later then said it's a joke, you know, which he never said. So that obviously that tells me that he wasn't joking, which is even more sad. That he would mean it, you know. Of course, I don't mean the same to him, because again, I'm not that much of a low life, and I'm not that low of a person. I don't do that. I don't wish death, not on him, or not on anybody for really that matter. But yeah, the drama situation here with him and such like that is done. You know, he is not welcomed back on his channel. Obviously, you community, you spoke on that. And of course, myself and Super Batman, and even Deadwalker for that matter, agree with the same. If Walking Dead wasn't in, this wouldn't be happening. Well, I don't know if I would agree with that, Mr. Spammer. You know, that's a way of saying. Listen, just the way Epic came at us, I don't really think that mattered. I don't know. I could just tell he didn't respect me, in my opinion at least. I mean, I could definitely tell he didn't respect Ed Walker's opinion. because he would just bash us for no reason, and and we wouldn't say anything. Um, so I could definitely tell that he was trying to start beef. I don't know if that was his intention, or you know, or whatever the case was, but you know, to say trash and rude things to us in the public servers and not expect to get flack for it is pretty ridiculous, if you ask me. Um, you know, because I mean that's just silly. You know, like if I was talking trash about Walker Dead in my server or even Brian's server, for instance, I would definitely expect somebody to say something. You know, I wouldn't think that everybody would agree and pretend it never happened. You know, um, so Walker Dead was innocent. Yes, yes, Mr. Spammer. That's what the sucker's about. He was innocent in this situation. He was innocent in this situation. And that's kind of what we're making truthful
It's a
here.
Discord.
Um, yeah, I figured that's what it was, Deadwalker. I'm glad it's working now. And that's what I'm driving the home to. So because he's innocent, um, you know, I'm not gonna do a poll on it, but if this video, well, I actually stream 5 likes, um, that definitely gives me the incentive to that you guys are a-okay. If Walker Dead is on the channel, I am going to let him back on. I'm going to make that formal because he gained my respect. He gained my respect for the video that he made.
Respect too.
I
mean, the whole reason this is happening is because I was the first one to watch the video, and then I hit Walker Dead up, and I said, hey, let's talk. And then based on what he said, I said, okay, Ray, you need to talk to him because it sounds like we actually misunderstood him. We actually misunderstood. He actually has nothing to do with this,
Right. So exactly,
you know,
and we're trying to be truthful here. We're not trying to give out false information. We're not trying to give the false side of the story here, and we're not trying to just believe one side of the story. We're trying to be truthful here. If we're gonna tell you what's happening in this situation, we're gonna tell you the full thing, and tell you what's actually going down. And like I said, big part of the channel in a lot of ways. Hence why I made streams about it, because again, it was embarrassing for me that he was being this way, and the way he acted and the things he said and the rudeness that he was doing and being, and this was our way to kind of let it out, to let the bro army know, that this is what's happening, and you guys even spoke for yourself. You don't even want him around. Now for Walker Dead, give another chance. Is really what I'm saying, and don't look at him as the complete enemy. So if you could smash the like button, I would appreciate that. Like I said, 5 likes would give me that incentive, for sure. Like I said, Epic, he is not welcomed, and he is not allowed back on. I don't want him around. He creates issues, and he was rude enough to wish us death. And that's not acceptable with me, man. Once you push that limit for me, I don't want you around me. That's just where it's at. I really don't. And if he says sorry now, it's not going to mean anything to me, because that's, it's just like with the Otto von Aaron situation, and Super Batman situation, If he said sorry, it wouldn't have mattered now, because when you should have said sorry, you should have said it at that point, not 5 weeks later, or not a year later. You know what I mean? If you truly meant that sorry, you would have said it right then and there. You know, um, which in his case, he should have said it not long after he said the comment. You know, at least that same day, if not the next morning. You know, somewhere around that time, wouldn't go any later than a day, at least. And it's been more than a day. So it won't mean anything now. So there's no point in saying it. It's a waste. It will mean nothing to me. You know, that's just I would just look at that as you're just trying to get out of the situation. That's, you know, and I'm sure a lot of people look at it that way. Now for Walker Dead, it's a totally different situation because Epic was throwing him under the bus when he had no say in it. And that I can't blame Walker Dead on. I cannot. That is all done by Epic. You know, which is sad to see. Is that he has the audacity to throw people's names in there without asking. You know, and without getting their side of the situation. You know, I'm sure Walker Dead. I'm sure you can agree on that.
Yeah, listen, if I'm not, yes, I did. I'm not gonna lie. I did leave Dan's server, and I did leave Brian's server, and I was lying to myself, or I was using you guys as an excuse. In reality, I was like,
Hold up.
I can't do this.
Epic was literally like, Epic was like literally, you know, acting as if like he basically brought you in a situation that you had nothing to do with because he was saying Walker Dead calls you idiots all the time, and you know Walker Dead's right, you guys are, you know, he was saying this and that, and then, you know, basically bring you into a situation that had nothing to do with it. That's kind of what we're trying to say here.
I'm like, listen, even if I did, like, not to interrupt, but listen, even if I did say something like that, I mean, knowing me, I would apologize right away because if it's a misunderstanding, then of course I'm going to apologize because it's a misunderstanding. Like I'm like, okay, if Deadwalker or if Rays or if anybody of the Rays Army is thinking he's probably saying this and that, of course there's going to be some form of misunderstanding there because they don't know. They don't know. They don't know. So how can they possibly know if it's
exactly?
They really don't know. This whole thing, it's a misunderstanding.
Right.
I mean, it is a misunderstanding. There's really no other way to look at it. I mean, it is a misunderstanding. I mean, I'm not denying that. I mean, I'm not trying to use that as an excuse, but it is true that, listen, there is no denying the fact that, yes, it's a misunderstanding.
Right. But yeah, you know, not acceptable that he did that, and it surely doesn't give him the right. But yeah, you know, definitely, like I said, give him another chance. I think. He regained my trust back, and for that, I'm gonna allow him back on the channel, and he can comment and like and do the normal basic stuff he's like any average viewer can do. Obviously, still not a part of the Thursday streams. That's kind of a decision on Mr. Bitches. And
yeah, that's understandable. I mean, like I said before, that was a decision made between you guys and Super Batman. So, like I mentioned before, like listen, that was their decision. I respect their decision. I'll always, you know, stay tuned in the chat and be like, hey, let's talk about, like, I don't know, maybe Tales, or, oh, do you guys want to talk about, like, oh, what if The Walking Dead did this? Like, how would The Walking Dead, like, you know, The Walking Dead story be different? Like, I could probably mention stuff like that every once in a blue moon. But yeah, in regards to that decision, that was Super Batman's decision. And like I said before, I will respect that decision. And to be fair, even when me and Ray's were doing the Walking Dead Thursday stream, a part of me did feel a little bad. Like it's always me and him doing the Thursday streams. When I'm like, well, why not have someone else like Super Batman or Deadwalker? Like, hey, let's have a stream with them in there. Or why not have me take a break and have them do a stream with Ray's? Talking about anything Walking Dead. Like, let's give other people a shot.
Right, for sure. But yeah, still part of the Overeat's army though. Being part of the community, that's what really matters anyway. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're giving you that privilege back again. So that is great.
For sure.
And probably even let you back on the server as well. I don't see why not.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like to be back on the server and chat with you guys about anything Walking Dead or about anything in general. I miss being part of the server.
Well, like I said, Epic, he's not. Like I said, he's not welcomed. Making that clear.
Yeah, I mean that's understandable.
He pushed the limits.
Fair, he didn't make that
he pushed the limits.
And
there's got to be limits. There's got to be limits. There's got to be boundaries, and he pushed them. We told him to stop, and he continued. So I mean, it's not much more we can really do. So hopefully he can make better actions and better decisions when time goes along. Me personally, I can't give him another chance. It's gonna take a long time for me to even have any respect for him. And such like that.
Yeah.
He just went too far. So kind of that situation. So there's that.
Yeah.
That's that type of whole drama situation. Eyes are kind of itchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really think there's too much more. Calling us names and stuff like that obviously is not acceptable.
Yeah, in regards to Epic saying the things that he did, I do agree with the fact that that wasn't really appropriate. I mean, listen, the moral of the story is, think before you say something, regardless if you're mad or not. Otherwise, some of the things you could say to defend other people, like I mentioned before, like, hey, you don't want anyone to feel bad. Otherwise, they're not gonna want anything to do with you.
Right.
They're probably gonna look at you, probably be like, well, why should we, let you back on if you said this? You know what I mean? And again, not to take nobody's sides. I'm just saying because.
Yeah.
Listen, there's no denying the fact that what was said to you guys was super disrespectful. And again, it did make me sick to my stomach to even see that, to hear that. I'm like, wow, that because that made me feel bad. I'm like, sure, the whole thing was a misunderstanding, yeah, but to see that, I'm like, come on.
Right.
Like I mentioned before, hey, show some respect, there's nothing wrong with showing some respect. There's nothing wrong with that. There shouldn't be anything wrong with that. I'm like, okay, if you disagree with this person's opinion, if you disagree, then explain as to why you disagree. Or if you have your own negatives and positives in regards to the show, I can give them your negatives and positives. So hey, talk to them. Talk to them and be like, hey, this is what's going on.
Yeah, it definitely didn't. I could definitely tell he did not respect our opinions. That's without a doubt. I respected his, even though I thought his opinions were trash. Didn't mean I, went at him because they were trash.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean I don't respect his opinions. You know, um,
Yeah.
how come Walker Dead couldn't talk to you about this earlier? You mean like do this
But the
earlier?
what?
Well, obviously I was busy with work, got that, and he was probably busy of his own. We do have work. Thank you very much. Plus, I also had a
Yeah.
game. I had a baseball game I had to go to too, so I couldn't start this earlier, even if I wanted to. I had a
So Walker,
ticket to a
um,
game.
I actually, like I
Um,
told you, I actually understand the disappointment with the Rick movies. I do, because I've had conversations with other people. I understand the disappointment. Um, do I think Scott Gimple lied? No. I think that if anything, we should be apologizing to him because I truly think that he honestly has been going through hell because he's been working his ass off to make movies. Oh, we're making a TV show now. AMC says so. AMC deserves all the hate for that because AMC are greedy bastards. Because I found out something. And like I said, they're like any other. They're like Disney, and like other companies that care only about money. But the thing is that I found out the reason why was because it's Norm Reedus said something about this. He said there's a whole scope change with the movies. He was telling the truth because the whole scope change was that AMC didn't want these movies to be released on a different platform other than AMC. So they're like, okay, then we can't do a movie then because we need a distributor. Universal Studios, Netflix. So they're like, okay, let's do a TV show instead. So, but like, and now I'm hearing that they're probably going to have more than one season. We could be getting more than what the movies would give us because 6 episodes is close to about 3 movies combined. It's a little bit under because if each episode's an hour long, that's 6 hours worth of story. The 3 movies, if it's let's say each movie is 2 hours long, would be about 8 hours of story. So it's pretty close. But if we
no,
get
it'd be
2 or 3,
6. It'd be 6.
if we get 2 or 3, we might get more than we actually could. I understand
No,
the
it'd
quality.
it would
The
be
budget.
6. I don't know where
Let,
you're
let,
getting.
me, let me talk. So I understand the budget might be bigger when it comes to movies. And the story is I know that the way that they tell a story is different in the movie than a TV show because in a movie things go fast. The story goes fast. But with the TV show, they're going to drag it out more, which I understand that. And why people might be disappointed because the movie could actually tell the story better. But with a TV show, they might be able to drag it out and tell more character developed stuff. It could be better. And I think it will be because especially if we're going to get 2 to 3 seasons, it could actually top what the movies are even give us in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like looking at it now, if there was some kind of change, yeah, like looking at it now, I can see why some people can be like, well, AMC promised us these movies, you know? I can understand why some fans could probably be like, well, why is AMC now all of a sudden making a change when they promised us these movies? Like I mentioned before, like, hey, if you have like this gut feeling, like, hey, if these plans for these potential movies aren't going to work out, at least have like a plan B so that some people don't feel like, you know, like they lied to them, or some people don't feel like, oh, they changed their minds at the last minute, you know. But however, if there was some kind of scope change, then there was there was a change and there was a change. I mean, however, if Scott Kimball wasn't aware, then that's a completely different story. I mean, because if he wasn't aware at all, then yeah, that's a different story completely. But I mean, but in regards to the Rick Michonne spinoff, it's definitely possible we could get only 2 or 3 seasons with it. It's possible. I mean, sure, if each episode's gonna be like an hour long, sure, the content will be longer than what the movies could have been if they actually happened. So I do agree with that there is a small possibility that the Rick and Michonne spinoff could get only 2 or 3 seasons at least. Because realistically speaking, if we look at Out of the Dead and the Daryl spinoff, they could end those 2 shows with a second season, and then once they get to the 3rd season, that's where everything collides. Like that's when everything comes together, and then that's where we get this big crossover like Gimple explained, like this big Avengers Endgame crossover, but Walking Dead style, in its own way.
Right.
They can go in that direction.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know, I definitely see that. I don't know where you're getting 8 hours, Deadwalker, from the movies. If you said each one would be 2 hours long, that'd be 6 hours total. Because there's only 3. So 2 times 3 is 6.
Fucking idiot.
You said that a couple times
possible.
in the past calls. You said 8 hours, and I was like, where are you getting 8 hours? It's 6. And nobody saw that error but me. I saw that error. You know, Super Babbitt didn't even see that error, which I was shocked on that. I'm thinking to myself.
Did I see that in my video too?
Possibly.
Which video?
It's possible. I think you might have. Yeah.
All right, well, I fucking put a comment.
Yeah.
It's all good though. It's all good. You know, I mean, they could have been longer. I mean, we don't really know how long the movies were gonna be. You know, our guess was 2 hours. They could have been 2.5. You know. You know, I mean, it's really hard to say what their length was gonna be, but I am happy that they're doing it this way though, because I think it is a better idea, and I don't blame AMC for being like, well, we want it on our platform. I don't blame them necessarily. I really don't. You know.
Oh, my thing is that
I mean, it started on your channel. You know what I mean? It should end on your channel. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
here's the thing. He was very successful with El Camino, and El Camino was released by Netflix, and that was a very successful movie.
right.
It was like one of the watched movies.
Right, but Netflix is able to make their own movies. You know what I mean? They're a little bit bigger. You know what I mean in terms of that, or they have the opportunity there to make a movie. You know what I mean if they want to, or they want to make a show, they can make a show. You know, so it might be a little bit more open. You know what I mean to be able to have choices. You know, maybe AMC is not that fortunate. Maybe they're not. I don't know. I'm not really 100% sure, quite frankly. You know, I mean, I know they have a lot of people subscribe to them. That much I know. Maybe they just haven't gotten a chance to get around to getting a studio to make movies on their network. Not really sure. That could be. And maybe in the future, maybe they might. You know. But you know, I mean, again, I don't necessarily blame them, you know, for that. I get it.
Yeah, and I understand that there's less money put into a TV show than a movie. But here's the thing: if it's just like World Beyond, I wouldn't have a problem with it because World Beyond actually did a good job with. It didn't show the entirety, but it wasn't bad. You know, season 2 is one of the best. It's not one of the best, but I'd say it's. Season 2 of World Beyond, in my opinion, was better than Season 7 and 8 of the main show in some ways, just because I really liked the I just say, like, if it's like World Beyond Season 2, I wouldn't have a problem with it, with the budget-wise, because they actually did a good job with that, you know what I mean?
Right, and I do believe with this Rick and Michonne spinoff, they're going to show a lot of CRM, if you know what I mean. They're gonna really, we're going to see a lot, you know, I really do believe that.
Is that it might focus too much on Rick and Michonne and not show too much about the CRM. Because it seems like based on the plot, that's...
I think it's going to do a bit of both. You know, it's going to kind of go back and forth. You know, and because I think All of the Dead is also going to focus on CRM too. I'm pretty sure of that as well.
That sounds amazing. I can't lie. That sounds pretty fucking cool.
Right. Well, you know, but I mean, you know, so All of the Dead will definitely focus on CRM. The Darrow show, I think, will probably also focus on CRM in a sense, as well as different zombies. That's without a question there. So I mean, you know, so I do believe that we're gonna get pieces and pieces and more pieces of the CRM. And I'll be cool with that, you know.
All 3 shows are going to come together because, like, like I said, like here's the thing. There's this post I sent you where it says that originally the storylines for all three of the spin-offs are supposed to be the show, the main show. Like after the Commonwealth stuff, they had plans afterwards, and that the spin-off storylines is what it was. Besides Tales and Fear, that's their own stuff. But the other spin-off was originally supposed to be the continuing storyline after the Commonwealth. So I honestly thought at first that the reason why they were ending the show is because they ran out of storyline. They couldn't tell us their own storyline because since it ended where the comic ended, they wanted to end it where the comic ended. Well, no, it actually, Andrew King and Scott Gimple, the reason why they were saying, oh, we think it can go on for another 5 or 6 years because they actually had these storylines in place to continue after the Commonwealth arc.
Right. Exactly.
They still have...
But like I said, it was AMC that decided to stop it at 12 or 11 and decided to do these branch off series instead.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. I'm not denying the fact that it's impossible. But
and really, I think they doing that.
It's possible for sure.
I think they're really doing that to kind of freshen up the franchise, because the main show is getting a little bit on the stale, and to kind of bring a little bit more life to it. You have these characters that we love are going to these random places that we never been and we never seen in this universe. And now they have to go there and, save friends or, and figure out what's going on. So that means they have to...
I mean, it's almost impossible for them not to run into the CRM because they're going to New York. New York is a big place where the CRM have a lot of their stuff. They got the research facility in New York. They got, season 2 of World Beyond took place in New York. So, it's almost impossible for Negan not to run into them in some sort. And the same thing with Daryl. If he's going to Europe, it's pretty obvious he'll be France. And we know that the zombie virus started in France. And imagine if Daryl, out of all characters, goes to the origin of the outbreak. It's an interesting character to be basically the guy to go to where it all started. And maybe he discovers that when he's there. Maybe that'd be an interesting thing. He discovers that it all started there.
That'd be cool. It would be even more cool. That'd be even more wicked if he actually finds the cure. Now
it's possible.
Now that would be wicked. Now that would get me excited. I'm not gonna lie. That would get me very excited. Actually, that'd be something to cheer.
It's possible that
would be something that would get me spiced up. That would give me a lot of excitement because I would see that we went from a zombie show to it's going to turn back into a civilized show, which would just be interesting to just see it unfold. Really, that's what it would be. It'd be very cool to see it unfold. Go back the other way. I mean, that'd be the wicked part. What's that one zombie show that they were freaking that they weren't technically called zombies. They were. But they look like zombies. But they were people that were sick, and they couldn't. They had to stay out of the sunlight. It was the one with Will Smith in it. I'm forgetting the name. What was that called? It's not I Am Robot.
You mean Z Nation?
No, it's not Z Nation.
Z Nation is pretty a good show. It just got canceled, which sucked, but it ended in a way to where it wasn't terrible cliffhanger, but it ended in a better way than the other season cliffhangers, I'll tell you. But I love Z Nation. Z Nation's another.
That's what it was. I Am Legend. I Am Legend.
I Am Legend's about. Oh, if you read the book, it's a lot different than the movie, but yeah.
Yeah, bloodthirsty mutants.
Yeah.
But I think the movie is freaking lit because he does find the cure in the end of the movie.
That's the alternate ending.
That's the alternate. What do you mean? That was
there's the canon ending, and then from what I heard, there's the alternate ending, like it's sort of like a what if, like what if this actually happened. But yeah, there's, from what I heard, that there's only 2 endings for the I Am Legend movie. That being the canon ending, where they find the cure, but then in the alternate ending, something else happens. Yeah, well, he survived.
Basically, the canon ending is that he finds the cure but dies, and the uncanon, then the alternate ending is that he lives but doesn't find the cure, and the zombies go away.
Oh, see, I didn't know about that one. I just knew about the legit ending where he found the cure and then he got fricked.
Well, yeah, he fucking pulled the grenade and then blew himself up and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I heard rumors that they might do a sequel, and I'm like, okay, if they do a sequel,
Wait a minute. I just saw that too.
If we're trying to do a sequel,
I just saw that too. They're making I Am Legend 2, by the way. Really?
Yeah, I'm like, realistically speaking, I'm like, okay, if they're gonna do a sequel, obviously Will Smith probably won't be able to be in it, because I'm like, okay, if they're gonna do a sequel, I feel like they have to go forward more with the canon ending, where they do find the cure, but then it becomes his mission, like, okay, how do we get this cure to everybody? Like, is there a way? Like, I don't know, maybe that's something they could touch upon in the sequel. Like,
what?
Maybe in the sequel they could show.
Wait a minute.
How everybody gets cured.
What? You gotta be kidding me. You son of a bitch. It is actually happening. What? 4 days ago, I Am Legend 2 from Warner Bros. Is now in development.
Really?
With both Smith and Jordan. What? You gotta be shitting me.
Really?
Really? How the fuck is he in it?
It looks like that alternate ending might be the canon ending now.
Maybe. It's possible.
It's finally happened after 15 years of the original films, but why did it take so long? Yeah, that's a good
I wonder if he's going to bitch slap a zombie too, like he did with Chris Rock.
Plays Robert Neal, a lone scientist at the end of the world. Yep. And the movie did well enough in theaters to warrant a sequel, but this was over 10 years ago. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. There had been a second installment announced once upon a time. There were even talks about a prequel film set before the Darkseeker outbreak, in a period where sequels were cranked out relentlessly. I Am a New Legend film would have been a shoe in the box office. Despite this, a new movie is just now being put together. After 15 years since the original release, why it took so long? Yeah, that's a good question. Why? Following the success of I Am Legend, a prequel was announced with both Smith and director Francis Lawrence in talks to return. The determiner to acquiring the two was the script and whether the story would be enough to pull the two back in. The plot would see Robert Navy's life before the fall of New York, culminating in a final stand against the infected. However, the project never took off. One of the reasons is the release of a film with a similar premise. Director Steven Soderbergh's Contagion followed the spread of a deadly virus that kills millions. Cities across the country enter into a pandemic, with characters either quarantined or working to find a cure. Lawrence felt that releasing a new film based on the outbreak of a deadly virus would have felt forced and was risk of piggybacking off of Soderbergh's movie. Oh, well, that makes sense. As for a direct follow-up, one of the reported reasons that I Am Legend 2 never happened, per HITC, was that Lawrence didn't find any of the ideas presented worthy of his efforts. I Am Legend is a story about the last man on Earth. Robert Neal was a man alone in a dead world. Even if there was a way to logically resurrect him, Lawrence had no interest in exploring the concept a second time. And then there was the issue of Smith's return. The studio was keen on bringing Smith back. Of course. They didn't want to go without him. But there was no feasible way to do so after he dies in the original I Am Legend, right? A sequel would have to needed to retcon Neville's demise in some way, either by substituting the theoretical ending with the alternate one that more closely resembles the ending of Rich Mathan's novel, or going with an outright cop out. Lawrence discussed this idea on Happy Sad Confused podcast in 2018. Huh. Smith stated back in 2012, when asked about the film's progress, that he was not involved in nor obligated to return for the sequel and did not see himself returning. His prime reason for this was his reluctance to what he termed the sequel guy. The sequel guy. The 2010 saw many sequels being hearsed out one by one, only to be met with mediocre responses. In this period, most sequels weren't made to advance story or build upon already established lore. They were cash grabs. True, not entirely wrong. Smith wanted to avoid sequels, with a few exceptions. He had cited his age as his primary reason. Well, fair enough. I mean, yeah, he is getting old. That's without a doubt. Saying that he only had so many years left in him for action roles before he would have to switch to less physically demanding parts. He didn't want to waste whatever time he had left doing disappointing sequels when he could continue to diversify his portfolio. Okay, so right here, this is where it gets interesting. The number of sequels Smith has returned for has been limited, mainly to his more prominent franchise roles, such as Men in Black and Bad Boys. I Am Legend was not going to be an exception, for as Smith has rejected the idea of returning until Michael B. Jordan pitched him a worthwhile idea. I Am Legend 2 from Warner Bros. Is now in development, with both Smith and Jordan set to produce and star in the film. So far, few details have been given about the project. Oscar-winning Akiva Goldsman, who penned the script for 2007 film, has signed on to write the untitled sequel. Lawrence hasn't signed on, though, and there is no word yet if he will do so. John Moan will also serve as one of the film's producers, and he spoke of Jordan's concept while attending the PGA Awards. He goes in quotation marks. It is unbelievably cool idea that made, in quotation marks, Will and Akivia believe that this was worth telling another story. I really can't say if it's based on any of the graphic novels, in quotation marks, but it's based on the minds of Will and Akivia and Michael B. Jordan, who came up with this incredible angle on how to continue that story. A big question that fans are waiting to be answered is, how will Smith's character be reintroduced into the story? There's a chance the original ending could be retconned with the better received alternate ending. There you go. That's my guess. Which saw Neville surviving and arriving at the community of the survivors. Retconning isn't unheard of when it comes to sequels. The current Halloween trilogy retconned the entire Halloween franchise in 2018 by erasing all history after the original 1978 film and starting from scratch. Well, that's true, even though you could still watch them. The idea could work for I Am Legend 2 as well. If the idea is as good as Moan says it is, perhaps Neville could be used in a series of flashbacks to advance the story. Either way, the picture will benefit from Smith's return. The original film was a huge success, with fans lauding it as one of Smith's best. With the two committed actors behind the project, fans could be in for something special. Wow. Of course, through the comments saying, "Not another sequel." Get out of here! I want a sequel. That is one of the movies I do want to see a sequel to because it was so good that I wanted to see more. You know, I did want to see more. That is crazy.
Yeah, I
Over
agree
right
with the
here
fact
it
that they're
says
gonna have the alternate ending being canon. That's pretty insane.
right here is where they confirmed it. I Am Legend 2, the sequel was announced on March 4th. The 4th of March. And with pre production commencing soon, it is expected to see a release date of late 2022. I doubt that. I highly doubt that. If not early slash mid 2023. That's more likely. I believe that a hell of a lot more. And
Hey,
that's
you guys, something. This I kind of miss the old YouTubers that used to do Walking. I miss ZeusTuber. I miss because Ronnie Hayes. He still does YouTube. He said literally, he's like, I retire. I'm done. I can't do Walking Dead anymore. You know, blah blah. This. ZeusTuber got hit with copyright, so he don't do it no more. Trev Chan's the only last remaining one that's been doing it for a very long time. Except he just kind of dick rides the show now. Movie Auto's newer. Say they're a PT channel and Walking Dead Explained. They're newer, but they've been around since like season 8 or 9. ZeusTuber and they've been ZeusTuber and Trev and Ronnie Hayes. They've been around since like the beginning. So it's like I miss those guys. You know, I miss the good old days when it comes to the Walking Dead YouTubers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I do somewhat miss the old videos Shreb would do whenever talking about The Walking Dead season 6 or 7. I do miss those days where he would talk about the show since, back then, because let's be honest here, back during seasons 5 and 6 of The Walking Dead TV show, that was when the show was at its prime, and similar to season 7A, that's when the show was somewhat at its prime. But at least with people like us, we're still willing to do, you know what I mean? Like for example, with myself, I'm still willing to do Walking Dead content on my channel, but also doing other things. Similar with you guys. You guys are willing to talk about The Walking Dead, but other things. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. At least with YouTubers like us, we can continue talking about The Walking Dead, and here's hoping that could get people's attention. Like hey, here are these YouTubers are doing Walking Dead stuff of their own and doing other stuff of their own. Let's hop onto their channels.
What is your go-to Walking Dead YouTubers besides other people besides Dan? Who's your Walking? But I'm talking about the really famous ones, the ones that have a lot of subscribers, the ones that a lot of people watch. What is your go-to? I like Trev, Movie Idol, PT Channel. You know.
My go-to, I guess you could say my go-to was Movie Idol, since I was subscribed to his channel for like 4.5 years, and I did somewhat enjoy his videos once. So I guess you could say in a weird way his channel was somewhat my go-to for potential news in regards to the Walking Dead TV show as a whole. But as time went on, Movie Idol just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't want to say his content watered down a bit. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to say like, oh, he's doing clickbait, but I mean, I guess you could say he's rusty a little bit.
That's George Drake you're talking about there.
To be fair, to be honest, when it comes down to not to interrupt, but when it comes down to George Drake, listen, I don't respect his videos. I mean, listen, the whole clickbait in his titles and his thumbnails, I'm like, bro, that's first off, that's misleading. It's false information, and that's something I don't respect. That's why I don't want my videos to be like that. I don't want my videos to be clickbait. I don't want to.
You know what you talk Movie Idol, because he actually liked the mid-season finale of season 7, which I was like, oh, you're losing me, but he actually was trashing on season 7 more than I thought. from what Rage was telling me, right, Rage? I guess he's asleep. But no, Movie Idol, he's still doing good. He's my go-to now. My old go-to when I was watching seasons 4, 5, and 6 during those times was a Zeus Tuber. You remember Zeus Tuber?
Yeah, I remember him. I remember he had like a video where he met Stephen Ogg. Yeah, I remember that video, and I still think it pretty sucks that he's
he was
doing Walking Dead.
He was my go-to because I just liked his content, and I just liked that he also did spoiler stuff. Zeus Tuber was my go-to until he got shut down by YouTube because of copyright. He's kind of going through what Dan's going through right now. But yeah, right now my go-to is between Movie Idol and Dan right now. I should start to like Dan. Dan's rising. Dan's rising up to being one of the more well-known walking YouTubers right now. But PT Channel's up there. PT Channel's kind of like just Walking Dead news. He's kind of Walking Dead news. PT Channel's kind of like that. I watch him on occasion, but it's usually between Movie Idol and Dan right now for me. It used to be back in the day for me. It used to be between Zeus Tuber and Makeup Pack presenter Bronny Hayes, but both those aren't good anymore.
Yeah, true. That's why I say thank goodness for us, for Movie Idol, at least with people like myself and with Overrays and with Movie Idol, at least with us, we still do Walking Dead content. That's why I say thank goodness for us. We still do so, because I will agree. Like Dan, he's becoming up there. He's becoming up there in regards to one of the Walking Dead YouTubers ever. He's starting to get up there. Same with myself. I'm trying to get up there. And Bobby, same with you guys. Bobby, you guys are trying to get up there too. And here's hoping you guys are able to get to that goal.
Knock Bro Nation ain't bad either. Knock Bro Nation, they ain't bad either. I like Knock Bro Nation. They're not bad.
I'm kind of being all over the place. I'm not trying to just be Walking Dead, obviously.
Yeah, and what I like about Dan too is Dan actually reviews The Boys. He reviews Better Call Saul. Bro, he's a love Better Call Saul. Every episode's like 10 out of 10. It's like, goddamn. My dad's a big Breaking Bad fan. He's been telling me Better Call Saul is like really one of the best shows on right now. I disagree. I think the best show on television right now is The Boys. Just because I watched The Boys and it's just really, really fucking good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I did watch an episode of The Boys season 3, and I'm like, bro, this is fantastic. Literally, like this is a real good show. I want more.
Yeah,
Right.
it's definitely a superhero show on right now. And it sucks because I'm a big Marvel nerd, but it's true. It's actually off of a show.
Oh yeah, I forgot to check the season 7 of Fear the Walking Dead. What it got for the ratings for those last couple episodes there. I didn't even look at the ratings. I totally forgot.
Oh, they got it. They got like an extra 10,000 for Madison's Return.
No, let me
about
see.
it.
No,
Are you
no,
serious?
Don't tell me.
Wow.
Let me see.
For Madison's Return, they got about an uprising about 10,000. That's pretty much it.
700
only?
710
I
700. Hold up, I got it right here. So Alicia's last episode, a laughing stock, 600,000.
Are you?
That's it. That's all it got. The episode before that, it got 660,000. Barely much more. So it actually lost 60,000 viewers from episode 14, season 7 to Alicia's final episode. And it was getting a little bit above the 700,000 mark before that, the couple episodes before that. Madison's episode, 710,000, so it just went slightly up. Just slightly.
We expected that.
Actually, not 10,000, it went up 100,000. 110,000 to be exact.
Okay. That is terrible. No, I don't expect the rate. They're going to be good.
That is... that's a joke. Because they still lost viewers. Because in the first episode of season 7, they had over 1 million, and now they don't even have that. 300,000 people left, 290,000 to be exact.
You know, the sad thing is that Fear actually had a good storyline going because the whole nuclear apocalypse Fallout 4 Mad Max thing, I thought it was a good setup for an interesting. I never seen a show turn a nuclear apocalypse into crap and boring. Like, I honestly thought that season 7. That's why I was kind of holding on with season 9 because I was like, it could actually become a really good story because they got this really cool this whole storyline with it being like a nuclear wasteland. It's looking like, you know, the Yellow Sea from Fallout 4, but they fucked it. I mean, they spent on making Strand the villain and shit like that. Like I said, this is what Walker Dead said too, is that they shouldn't have killed off Riley. Riley should have been honestly the main character, and it would also make sense since Dead in the Water was releasing at the same time. If Riley was the main villain during season 7 at the same time as Dead in the Water was released, it would make a lot of sense because it would also add more to his story, and you know, it would play alongside where the story was going as him and the main girl of season 7. You know what I mean?
Let's go. Okay,
Yeah,
here's
for sure. And I agree with that. Oh, but
TV series finale. Let's see that, because that's more accurate with the ratings when it comes to realistic numbers. Okay, so yeah, I wasn't wrong. So episode 15 actually it did not get 600,000. It got 598,000. Sorry, to be more exact, which is the lowest rated freaking episode of Fear entirely. Holy shit, the 100th episode, the lowest rating. 598,000. Ouch. Damn, wow, Alicia, woo, you killed it. Shit. That's ouch. That is a hurt, frankly. And just as I stated, every episode from the beginning, it went down in viewership. Every episode, it started at 1,087,000, and then the second episode, it went down to 955,000. Then it went down to 871,000. Then it went down to 733,000. A slight increase for episode 5, probably because it's a Dwight and Sherry episode. It went up to 931,000, but went back down the next 880,000, with a slight increase for episode 7 at 940,000. That's the highest increase it ever gets for the rest of the season. Episode 8, it dips again, 837,000. The premiere doesn't really regain those viewers. It lost it, and it doesn't get it back. It starts off with 837,000, and that's episode 9. Episode 10, it lost 2,000 people, 835. And then episode 10, drops down to 789,000. 11 drops even more, 743,000. 12, 717,000. I mean, it just keeps going down. 13, slight increase, not much. It goes up to 738,000. Whoop-de-doo, you gain 20,000. I'm so excited. It loses another 100,000 though. The next episode after that, 658,000. It drops significantly. And then it drops even more for Alicia's final episode. Ouch. At 598,000. Ouch. That's an embarrassment. That really is. It's gotta hurt. And Madison's episode. There's your ratings increased. I hope you're happy, dweebs, because you didn't get above 1,000,000. You failed, just like I told you would. I told you would. Madison ain't gonna bring the series back. I told you she would not, and she did not. She still killed it. You brought it up to 710. Congratulations. You didn't even give it above 800,000. Woo! We're really popping the champagne now, aren't we? With an average of 814,000. Ouch. That's a negative 48% demo change. And that's a negative 31% millionth change. So that's a decrease. Again. You went from, let's see, because season 6, so 814,000. Let me find that same website. There we go, season 6. So you went from 1.1 million as a seasonal average for season 6. Mind you, that was your best season so far. All the way down to 814,000. Ouch. How many people did you lose? 9. You lost about 300,000 people. Ish. That's kind of ouch. I mean, god damn.
It surprised me that The Walking Dead went downhill even in season 6, but I think season 6 was a... I mean, me and Lewis have a disagreement on it. I think season 6 was decent to good, but he said it was, decent. I just think it was... I enjoyed it more than some people did just because I liked the... it got darker. But I do understand the frustrations with the back half because they did fucking try and probe us with Don Dory and Madison, which was kind of frustrating.
You know what's sad about season 6 that people that I laugh at people, even though they say it's one of the best seasons. It's the season that lost the most viewers.
I know, that's why it's like I think it is one of the best versus seasons 4, 5, and 7
by far. But you know what? People were just fed up with it. That's the reason why that's why people were tuning away from it. They gave them 2 chances. And
now, if I were to rank all the seasons, it would go number 1, 3, number 2 is 1, 3 is 2, 4 is 6, 5 is 4, 6 is 5, and then 7 is 7. That's my rank.
I practically agree with it. Yeah, I practically agree with that one.
So yeah, 3, 1, 2, 6, 5. 4, 5, 7. Because I actually think season 4 is better than 5 because actually the Madison stuff was actually decent. The stuff with Madison, it wasn't terrible. It was still kind of bad, but it made it better basically than season 5. The whole trucker bullshit. Logan was a horrible villain. Just didn't really do it for me for season 5.
Yeah, I mean, not to cut nobody off here. I will mention I did make this What If short on my channel. It's called What If. I wrote the Fear the Walking Dead season 6 finale. I mean, if you guys want to check it out, it's up to you guys. It's a non-canon What If short titled, oh, what if this actually happened, or what if I actually did this? I mean, I'll send the link to you guys if you guys are interested in checking it out, but okay. I recommend doing so. It's actually somewhat decent.
That's it, for sure, man.
But yeah, it's one of the best seasons, but you know what? People are just giving up on the show because they got pissed about season 5. That's why. They gave it a chance in the beginning, and they said, you know what? Fuck this show. We're done.
Oh, because they also fucking did the biggest fucking fake out ever.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying.
Like Brian actually thought that he was dead. Like Brian actually thought that he died. I was like, no. There's no way. And I said that even the saddest part is that this is the biggest fucking mistake.
I knew they couldn't do it, and the reason why is because if they did do it, they would lose everybody. The Reigns would fucking tank right to the bottom.
Yeah, but that's another fucking. Ian and Andy was taking fucking notes from Scott Gimple during season 8, where it's like, okay, let's pretend to kill off Morgan so we can get some more fans back, you know, for the premiere of season.
But it really didn't work.
And not kill off.
It really didn't work. If you just pissed off, you just pissed off more people and made more people decide to not watch your show, or they watched it.
But here's why I'm a little bit more excited. Here's why I think I kind of. Gimple deserves credit for. He was the showrunner on The Walking Dead in his prime. 4, 5, and 6. The Walking Dead was in his prime. He fucked up towards the end of his journey, but he's got to get. He deserves the credit for the greatness he did. That's why I think that, you know, he deserves another chance because he still was he really did a good job with majority of what he did. I will say that. Just because 4, 5, and 6 was arguably some of the best shows on some of the best entertainment we've got in TV ever. You know, I will say. What do you think, Walker Dead?
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with the fact that seasons 4, 5, and 6 were when the Walking Dead TV show was at its prime, and I don't see nothing to be upset about that. I don't see any reason that's why you should be upset over 3 seasons of when the show was at its prime. No, I will always be thankful in regards to seasons 4, 5, and 6 of the Walking Dead TV show because those memories, boy, were do you think the best memories ever.
You think Gimple deserves credit for that, though?
Yeah, for sure. Like the way he did seasons 5 and 6, of course he deserves some form of credit. Yeah, the way he did, for example, the way he did the governor's death, it was somewhat decent. I'm not gonna lie. The way he did season 5 was decent. The way he did 6 was decent with the whole stuff with the saviors. So yeah, of course I could give up some credit in regards to that. Yeah. However, in regards with season 7 and 8, I mean, it's really hard to give him any credit for that because to be honest, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy somewhat of season 7 and 8 of the Walking Dead TV show. However, with season 7B and season 8 as a whole, I don't know. Season 9A was pretty good. In my opinion, season 9A was pretty better than seasons 7 and 8 of the Walking Dead TV show. However, there's no denying the fact that during the events of seasons 7 and 8 of the Walking Dead TV show, there are some minor problems, which I'm not really going to get into. Right. But, however, when it comes down to when the Walking Dead TV show was at its prime, of course I'm going to give credit where credit is due because, but listen, during seasons 5 and 6 of the Walking Dead TV show, I still remember those days. I was like, and keep in mind, this was before I was a YouTuber. I was just watching the show like every Sunday with my parents, heck, even by myself sometimes. And I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty decent. I'm actually enjoying it. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's why I think the Gimple, he might deserve a second chance for stuff because, CRM was his idea that he came up with. In tradition, maybe he should be the one to tell the most of it. You know what I mean? If you want to bring Matt, who's the guy that fucking did World Beyond? What's his name?
Yeah, if you want to bring him on. If you want to bring him on, yeah, go
Matt
ahead.
But yeah, I would not be opposed if Matt Negret wrote some stuff and it was a part of it because he obviously was a big part of World Beyond and he did a lot of the CRM. Matt Negret needs to be involved in that in this CRM stuff. I'm just saying that he did a good job with majority of it. I will say. Season 1 it was hella boring, but it led up to something that was really good with season 2. And I did not like the way season 2 ended. I didn't, not really, but
neither did I.
It could continue. It could be continuing in the in this Rick and Michonne stuff, because I don't think those characters we'll see. I think we'll see them again.
But anyways, no, season 6 though, one of the most, it lost 500,000 viewers. 500,000 viewers, which is the most that ever dropped. But still, your Madison bring back did not really boost the ratings.
Yeah, like we predicted, like me, Deadwalker, and Race. Yeah, we somewhat predicted this. Like, hey, Madison coming back isn't really going to do anything, and heck, Bry agreed with us on this scenario. Like, hey, it's not really going to do anything. So, and he actually agreed. So, but in all seriousness, I guess you could say we were somewhat right because listen. Look at the ratings. Madison coming back, it didn't really do much, Sure, it did something, but not as much as they hoped, which is why I believe.
Yeah, you got 18% increase. Whoop-de-doo. 18%.
True, but that's not really all that big of an increase if you really think about it. I'm like, sure, it's somewhat of an increase. No, but it's not really a big increase.
That's not good
if you really think about it.
That's not good as the first episode, for instance, 1,087,000. The second episode, 955,000. Hell, even the third episode, 871,000. Episode 5 of season 7, 931,000, 880. 940 at episode 7. Those episodes that are still in the 900,000 range. It didn't get up to those numbers. You didn't get back up to those numbers. What is season 8 going to start off with? I'm going to tell you this. I don't see it being any higher than 800,000 viewers.
Yeah, that's understandable. And to be honest with you guys, I don't really care about fear. Yeah, when it comes down to AMC fear, I really don't care anymore. So
900,000 max. I don't.
I'll continue to watch it even if it's bad, 'cause I'm just.
It's not gonna hit. It's not gonna hit 1 million. That's for sure. I can't see it hit 1 million anymore. Fear is done hitting that 1 million mark. That proved for season 7. It proved because it didn't hit it.
I'm not a person that thinks
it didn't hit it once in that entire season except for the first episode. So, season 6 was the only season that was, well, not counting 4 and 5, that was able to kind of maintain that million mark, and it averaged 1.1 million. But even as good as that season was, even I saw the fan base just leaving because they knew it was going to go back to shit. They just knew, and they were just like, what's the point? What's the point of watching? It's just going to get trash again. And it did. They were wrong. They predicted right. And I would not have any faith in season 8. I really wouldn't. I am sure not going to. It's not worth it. My hopes are just going to be crushed, just like they always are. These dweebs are good at doing that. They're good at crushing the hopes and killing what you would hope that they should do. Because that's just what they like to do. They like to destroy and ruin, and you dweebs are good at doing that. So.
Well, yeah, and Andy, they took over for a short time with Once Upon a Time and The Vampire Diaries, and I heard that's when the show was bad. Those two shows are bad, that's what I heard. I'm really so bad. I think I've been Walker Dead or something, but.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, from what I heard, they were a part of Once Upon a Time, but then some people were complaining that the show was not what it used to be, and now I know why, because when Ian and Andy took over, they pretty much changed the whole show, similar to what they did with AMC's Fear. I'm like, are you serious?
Right.
And
yeah,
it's Vampire Diaries.
No, they're obviously the ratings, like you said, they don't mean too much, because you got AMC Plus, You know, so you got
Yeah.
that.
Well,
But it still tells you that the people are sick of watching. You know what I mean? And that's what I look at it for. I look at it because it tells you that, well, people are leaving. You know, that they're done watching it, and that's just where it's at. They're tired of it. You know, they see that it's not good anymore, and it's just like, don't. You know, and even a character like Madison. I mean, okay, you bumped it up just a slight, uh, but
I don't know why she had to
is
come back.
it is that gonna make a difference? I don't think it's going to. Your ratings are still gonna dip because people
Hey,
are still.
I did hear a rumor season 6 writers are making a comeback, which if they do, please come back. I hope the Ghost Riders for the season 6 come back because
But even that, I still don't see that boosting the ratings.
well, it's not. Okay, Fear the Walking Dead, it's not savable at this point. All we can hope for is that it gets better. Well, for people like me, because I'm not gonna quit watching no matter how bad it gets. Because I'm just a person that's like I'm gonna watch everything The Walking Dead. I mean, I won't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy really at all season 7. It was hella boring. But I'm a person that's just gonna be like, I want to watch everything The Walking Dead. Like, that's just kind of me. You know, I don't really care how bad it is.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I tried that with season 7, and I just
Yeah, that's what I understand.
I just no. You know, I can't do that. I really can't. Not
So anyway, I gotta go, guys. I gotta get some sleep.
Yeah, you
Like,
get some sleep.
I gotta go. I really gotta get
You're
some sleep.
fine, brother.
So
You're
yeah, I'll
fine.
send a link.
I appreciate you joining us on this call. Welcome back to the Overeaters Army. Much love. Again, smash a like. Link will be in the description for both channels, Deadwalker and Walker Dead. So check them out.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah,
I
it's good to be
appreciate
back,
you being
and I
in it.
appreciate it.
And I appreciate us kind of, giving our piece. Yeah, hopefully Epic will just kind of just be done in general. And I mean, for him, I think he just needs to kind of stay away. Quite frankly, I think that might just be his best choice or his best option for right now.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't think you guys. Well, to be honest, I don't think you guys should interact with him anymore. I mean, after what?
Oh no! Believe me, I don't.
After what was said.
I don't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't really want to.
What?
But I don't want to be really in the same server with them either at the same time. You know what I mean? Because I know that he'll just start shit again. I mean, I just know that. It's too obvious.
Yeah,
he finds a way.
But still, I mean, I know you guys don't want nothing to do with him anymore. I'm just saying, like, hey, I don't think you guys should, interact with him anymore.
Oh
because
no, and
it's sad,
and I don't want to. Not after that. I don't.
Yeah.
Not after that. He took it too far. He brought this shit to where it's at right now, and just admit that you're wrong, brother. You're wrong. Wrong. If you really want to be the mature one, then admit that you're wrong. That's just where it's at. Because in this situation, you're not the mature one. I'll tell you that right now. You're not. You're the most immature person here when it came to going at me and Deadwalker about our opinions about AMC and the Walking Dead in general. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're gonna end it here. Links for everything down below. Walker Dead's video that he made will be in the description as well, so check that out.
Yeah. Oh, and don't forget to put those links down below because I'm not gonna lie. I did notice that the links were not down below. And I'm like, wait, what's going on? Is YouTube being dumb again? I'm just giving you a heads up.
I gotta get on a consistency of putting links, period. It's not you guys or anything of that sort. It's all my videos and streams. I gotta get in that consistency of putting them there in the first place. And quite frankly, I just want to get my PC going because it'll make it a hell of a lot easier for me to do that, rather than me having to copy and paste it from my device. Plus, I'm just a busy person. I'm always constantly doing stuff, so I forget. I tend to forget. And especially when I do these suckers late, I don't remember. So, but don't worry, the links will be put in the description. Might not be right away just because I'm gonna go to sleep, but I will get them in there. So watch out for that. But nonetheless, search them up on YouTube. Deadwalker with a capital D as one word. Walker Dead Phoenix as one, as three separate words. Simply just search up Walker Dead, you'll find them. And show them.
For sure.
Show them the love for sure. Got a big Beal 3 zombie stream tomorrow night, hopefully. 100 round attempt again. I got my Series X mini fridge over there that's been running this entire time. So my drinks that are in there are cold. So, you know how it goes. Got my energy. But anyways, I'm going to end off here. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, for sure. Have a fantastic rest of your night, guys.
Smash a like.
It's great to be back, everybody, of the Overeaters Army. It's fantastic to be back.
5
Thank you all for having me back. Yeah.
5 likes is what I'm looking for. Would appreciate that.
Great.
And yeah, I'll unhid you from the channel. I think I did hid you, if I'm not mistaken. I think I did. I don't know if I did. I'll check.
Yeah, if you look for my YouTube name, I think you should be able to find it, and I think you should be able to unhid me.
For sure. Alright. Excuse me. Peace out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I already resubbed to your channel.
Yep.
So yeah, ears open.
I resubbed to yours. So.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see you guys on the next one. More content tomorrow night. We're signing out. Peace.
Peace out.